Welcome back to episode 12 of the Shift Points podcast. I'm Jake Freeman.
Toby Norton.
And this is Toby Norton. You can tell that we are one short of what we normally are and two short from what we were supposed to be with Toby here. Jackson has bailed on us. He hates us. And Wynn supposedly is working late.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. His truck broke down this morning, so I think they've been kind of working their butts off today to try and stay ahead of where they were supposed to be. Well, this week, we're late. I told you guys we were under weather delay. The Coke 600 got pushed back until Monday, and then I was gone on Tuesday. And Wynn was working late again yesterday, and so we pushed it back today to make sure that he could be here. Well, you see how that worked out for us. I hope he listens to this.
I hope he does.
He calls me. He's like,
it's Win Wednesday, man. He got a mail on us on Wednesday.
Yeah, I know.
It was.
Win Wednesday. So, this week, we had the greatest weekend in racing, as always. Monaco, Indy 500, Coke 600. There was also an Xfinity race. Awesome. I didn't get to watch the Xfinity race.
I did not watch the accident. I never did see the end of the Xfinity race. I don't even know who won.
Justin Allgaier won.
Really?
I do know that. It was the first win for Junior Motorsports this year.
Nice.
They've been off really bad because they changed they had a little bit of rule changes in the Xfinity series.
Also.
And it put them a little on their back foot, seems like. But yeah, I didn't get to watch that because I had to go to sleep because I had to get up early and travel on Tuesday.
Big Atlanta trip.
Because it ended up not starting until like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it didn't finish until midnight.
Let's say I left your house like 9:30, and that was
they
pretty much
started
right after the cars.
And they had not started at all. Because I waited. I put it on this channel. I was like, I was going to watch at least the beginning of it, and it never showed up. There was I guess they had a football game they had to finish up before they could show it. But it ended up being really late. We actually were able to all get together this week and watch most of it. Jackson, Wynn, and myself, we watched the Indy 500 together.
Yeah.
We watched Monaco separately. I guess we didn't want to watch it together in our PJs at 9 in the morning. So we all watched Monaco separately. You didn't get to watch Monaco, though.
No.
I'll quickly run through Monaco because it's not that great. Monaco was... It's a historic, great place. Have you seen Monaco? Do you know kind of the significance of it, right? It's like one of the oldest circuits in Formula One, super prestigious. It's like the most insanely wealthy country in the whole friggin' world. There's casinos there. All the Formula One drivers live there. So that tells you how much money that those guys get paid.
They like that place.
Yes. So they like it, but they hate to race on it. It's a street circuit. It's super tight. These cars, the Formula One cars have got progressively bigger and wider.
I say fast. They need that space.
And they can't make passes. The only thing that kind of saved Monaco was about 30 laps to go, it started raining.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of threw some strategy into it, but then it literally ended up being the exact same finishing order.
They race in the rain, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, they'll throw on wet tires.
That's crazy.
Yes. And Monaco in the wet is super crazy because, like I said, it is a street circuit. It's really narrow. Those guys, it's crazy. You'll have to go look at it sometime, but how close they get to the walls there is terrifying. Yeah. Literally, they'll put banners up on the wall for sponsors and stuff, and they'll scrape the banners off the wall. That's how close they're going through some of these turns.
That scares me.
It's super scary. I don't know. And the other thing is they race through a tunnel in Monaco. So when you put wet tires on it, there's at least a section of the track that's going to be dry because it's a tunnel. And it's through the tunnel, out of the tunnel, and into a hard chicane. So it's a big braking zone, good passing zone, and But the track in general is good, but there's a big discussion every year when you go to Monaco. Do we still need Monaco?
Yeah.
Should we change it?
Yeah.
I think we debated last week that you have to keep it. But it's and I don't know what to compare it to. I thought about it a lot this week. We said we were going to talk about what track Monaco is compared to NASCAR.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a track that's super historic that doesn't put on a really good race in NASCAR that people kind of argue about.
The only thing that I think in NASCAR that when you sit there and you think historic, obviously you think Daytona just because
Daytona,
but Darlington, but I don't see
Darlington as an amazing racetrack.
Yeah.
It's a crown jewel and it's great. It always puts on a good show. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the only thing is maybe close to it right now is maybe a Martinsville, but just because of the package right now. any other time, any of these other cars, that track's amazing.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's never a discussion to get rid of Martinsville because everybody knows what it can do.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I wasn't able to come up with anything whenever I was thinking about it last week, but maybe we'll see what the other two say next time if we can get them back here.
Yeah, if they ever show up.
If they ever show up on Wednesday. So it was really, like, that was basically it. Fernando Alonso gets a P2 finish in Monaco. Good for him. I think the worst he's finished all season is 4th place.
That's insane.
It's really crazy. And like I said, just because, I mean, the Red Bulls are stupid fast. I mean, they're finishing 1 and 2. Perez had a bad weekend in Monaco. Just could never get it right. He crashed in qualifying, started dead last, and then just kind of finished like 16th. Like I said,
So you say it's like a hard pass track, come from the back, it's like
the only reason he made up those
insane
positions
thing.
was pit strategy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Crazy stat that I heard this week. I have not fact checked this, so I don't know if it's true or not. They said there has not been a pass for the lead at Monaco under green flag conditions, meaning on the track, since 1993. That's 20 years. No, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
93.
Yeah.
That's 30 years since there's been a on-track pass for the lead at Monaco. That tells you how important qualifying is.
Dang. You're wrecking it, dude. You just got to be.
That's it.
I gotta say, if you got the mindset, like when you wrecking it, you got the mindset that like we're done for. Like we're done for.
You're just like if you don't qualify on the pole, you're like, well, we're gonna settle in and finish where we started.
We just gotta finish now.
That's it.
We just gotta let's get some points, finish.
There's been times where there's been mechanical failures and stuff, but other than that, that's it. Which is just I thought was insane.
That's crazy.
So. All right, that was Monaco. Like I said, we'll quickly get through that. It wasn't much of a race. It's just always the beginning of this Memorial Day weekend. So, and I love Formula One, so I got to watch it. Indy 500. You didn't get to watch it either, did you?
I watched after we talked about it at your house. I went through and like went on YouTube and watched kind of like the highlight thing of it, and that was the first time like I've seen an Indy car. Like I've seen obviously like what an Indy car is. You know what it is, watching race, but like I watched like a few just like 3 or 4 consistent laps, and that's when I stopped and was like, these boys are scooting, man. These boys are so fast.
We made the joke last week, I think it was like, I don't know how they get in the cockpit when those kahunas are so big. It's like, I don't know how they squeeze in there. Because like, holy smokes. 240 miles an hour down the straights. They're dipping 241, 42.
You're taking turns like 200 miles an hour.
They're probably getting down in like 180, maybe in the 190.
You're taking a 90-degree turn in Indy.
It's a full 90. It's a rectangle. Yeah, it's a rectangle. And you're going down these long straights, and you're literally staring at a wall. Yeah. And then you get there and you saw to the left.
And you look at another wall, to another wall.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's what's super crazy is those like short shoots, the short side of the track.
Yeah.
That seems scarier to me than the long straightaways.
Yeah, because you're so
in long straightaways, you've got time to think about what you're going to do. Them short shoots, it's like instant, and then you're going 180, 190 miles an hour. Time to go again.
Time to go again. You gotta go.
Like if you. And we saw it with Jimmy Johnson last year when he was running. He had one little mistake coming out of one of those, and then gets the wall.
That's it.
I mean, it takes nothing.
Oh yeah.
And so the race in general, I would say, was awesome.
Yeah.
The first half, maybe a little, not like nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
But like there was strategy. Who's gonna run? Who's gonna pit when? The cool thing about Indy cars is like you'll get teammates out front and they'll swap the lead.
Yeah.
To save fuel because the guy leading's gonna burn more fuel. He's got more air.
Yeah.
So like they'll swap it and try and optimize their fuel mileage and make it further than other guys. And so that's pretty cool to me to see that and the kind of the thought that goes into it.
It's more of a strategy thing, like compared to like NASCAR used to. It's like more of like, hey, you got to put like it's a strategy race more than just like let's see if we last the end.
It's 100% that.
Yeah.
And there's Indy. I feel like is one of those races that it's like it's insanely hard to win.
Everybody wants that,
and
win.
It's so dang easy to lose.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to lose. Like if you any little thing can happen and you're done for because like that's I don't know what the spread was on them, but like the spread on the cars is not that big.
Yeah.
So like they're fairly bunched up in general. Not as tight as probably Cup Series races anymore because all the cars are basically the same. But it's crazy how tight everything is, and just one little like Scott Dixon last year. it was a bad pit stop and it put him out. He led almost the whole race.
That one thing ruined him, man.
And it was just a bad timing on it. If it happened early in the race, he'd have probably been fine. But it was like the last pit stop.
Yeah.
So
that hurt you.
Literally,
bad.
It's the easiest race to lose, I think.
The whole dragon's tail come down the straight because because the first time I really realized I was like that guy swung down low and I was like he's going to pits and then all of a sudden it was like then they were like he's breaking draft and I was like dude, could you imagine just be running like 230 and being like oh somebody's coming let me zigzag down the straightaway
back to the right and it's also funny to me is like going down the straightaway those guys have their steering most of them have them tilted to the right so that they're straight up and down in the corner so you're like this whoa and like the steering's sensitive. Those cars don't have power steering. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they don't have power steering. We talked about that last week too. They say that those cars are so physical to drive. You have to just manhandle every corner. Every time you turn the wheel, you got to just give it everything you have. And we talked about this during the race, and if those guys were here, they could say it. They were making jokes because they are who they are, and they're like, why aren't girls as competitive as guys? And they're trying to get me to like kind of jump in on this conversation, you know how they are. And I was like, you guys do you know how physical it would be to drive one of these things?
You gotta be pretty strong, just upper body, strong. Just to last that long.
And I'm not saying it's not possible for a lady or a woman to do that, but it's got to be more. They would have to put in I feel like 10 times is probably at least 10 times as much effort as it for just a guy that would do it.
And they can do it, but then after a while you're gonna get wore out, turning all the time. Then you just gotta be ready for it. You gotta be built ready.
That's what I'm saying. Everything you got. It's insane. I imagine that all the Cup guys and stuff now are, they're working out and they're staying super fit and everything. But I think these guys have to be next level. Just have to constantly be doing it.
Don't have a hold of them.
I think that they always joke that Kyle Busch doesn't. He doesn't do any of that.
When you look at him, you're like.
Yeah, he don't work out. He's not fat. He ain't like us.
Yeah,
but he ain't working out.
He's still ain't ready for one of them.
So you can be very successful and still not do it, clearly.
Yeah.
But I feel like it maybe if you don't have that talent like a Kyle Busch has, you got to put in the extra effort to get to his level. And even then, I don't think you get there. The big conversation that came out of the Indy 500, though, you saw the wreck with the big wreck that happened.
Yeah.
So, big wreck, it's Kyle Kirkwood, I believe is the guy's name. He comes across, they come back across the track, he hits the guy, and it shears the wheel and tire assembly off, and it goes flying. And we're watching this deal, and I was going, oh no.
I thought it was stands.
It was going into the stands.
I thought it was stands.
And it just over the edge of the stands, and I told him this morning, everybody's laughing I can't believe that car's not hurt as bad. It hit a car. It ended up hitting a car. It definitely did not direct hit that car.
No.
Because it had to have bounced and then hit it.
Even if it had hit the top of it, dude, it had been sitting in the floorboard.
That's what I'm saying. If it had hit the front of it, it would have, if it come off the car and came directly up, I'm guessing that tire's probably going 150 miles an hour.
So you're already running 200, comes off, then it's falling down.
I'd say it's going 150 miles an hour. If a tire that weighs, guessing, 50 to 60 pounds, going 150 miles an hour, hits the front end of a Chevy Cobalt or whatever that was, it's going to deploy the airbags probably. And it didn't look like it did. So it definitely bounced and then hit this car.
Yeah.
But Penske's been super cool about that deal though. They've
really?
Well, they gave her a car.
I saw though because the woman, because I read this thing and it was did you see the picture of her on the track?
I saw her. They brought her down to let her kiss the bricks
because they were hey, we're taking her home, or we're gonna take her home because her car's destroyed. And I was like, well, what is she gonna do after that? And then they were like, we'll have you a ride to come back tomorrow, which was the Cup cars.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't work tomorrow. And they were like, you do now. And then they brought her out I don't know if it was during Cup race, probably before is what I figured.
Well, it's two different places though.
Oh yeah.
But they were off, but they brought her back.
They brought her back and then gave her a car. But I was like, that's cool. But
please don't sue us.
Yeah, please.
Here's the keys.
So sorry.
I wonder how that works. We were talking about that this morning. Me and Emily were again, and I was like, this goes back to last week on the whole living with means living in a constant podcast. I talk about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So me and Emily were. I said, in my brain, it would be if you walk onto a racetrack property, I feel like you've kind of forfeited your rights.
You signed up.
If you get injured, that's on you. You came to a dangerous place.
Yeah.
I think. But is that how it works? I mean, surely there's a lawyer that would take that case. I was like, your car got hit by...
I get if you paid for a ticket, but like where she worked there, I can see it being kind of
I feel like
different. But still,
I think it's actually more strict because she works there.
Yeah, you work.
They've signed something that says like blah blah blah, whatever it is. That's like a workers' comp thing. Your car got destroyed.
I get an animal workers' comp. Indy 500 ruined my car.
But yeah, like I said, I think that's good of them. I think Roger Penske is such a cool dude. I
got a buddy who's going to work for Roger Penske.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was. His name's Tyson Nelson. He played football for Marcel.
Okay.
And then
that name.
Yeah, he's in the nursing program.
Okay.
And then he was like,
this is a friend you were telling me about on Sunday.
Yeah. And then he went to he signed up for the draft. There was one spot that he was too small for, one spot that he was too big for, and then apparently he's got some connections with Penske, and then I think he's going to be a jackman for him, and he's leaving out like sometime next month. I was talking to a dude today.
Nice.
Said he's going to be going training for the Jackson, and he's moving to Morrisville. Yep, and then he's going to do all that. And I was like, that's crazy.
Cool.
That's cool.
His tickets? Does he get a discount on tickets?
Discount on maybe close races?
Yeah. I mean, maybe a Martinsville or a Bristol.
I'd love to see Martinsville.
I want to go to Martinsville so bad.
You ever been to Martinsville at all?
No, never been to Martinsville.
Me neither.
I've been to Bristol. I've been to Charlotte, Bristol. I've been to Daytona, but I've never seen a race there.
Yeah.
I've toured the track.
Yeah.
I've been to Darlington, but not seen a race there.
I've only been to Bristol.
I think that's it. I think that's the 4 main tracks I've been to. I think. Yeah, it's not very many.
That's cool. Well, that's like the closest ones to us. So other than that, like what would... I mean...
Atlanta.
Yeah.
4 hours down to Atlanta.
Well, see, I was going to go to Atlanta this year, but it was for the NASCAR races when they raced motocross.
Oh, yeah.
They did it inside the track.
Oh, did they?
And then the next week...
Because I knew they did that at Daytona.
Yeah. And then the next week, it was going to be Cup cars. And then we were talking about, like, stay a week or something like that. And I was supposed to go Logan, and he had the twins and everything like that. Yeah. We never made it.
Those kids, all the fun stuff.
Never made that.
But, yeah, so, those are really the closest ones. What if you could pick any track in NASCAR? Let's start with NASCAR. Any track in NASCAR that you could go see a race, where would you want to go?
Talladega. I'm gonna go Talladega.
You want to party?
I want to party, but at the same time, dude, I want to see some fast cars. Like the only thing I've seen is Bristol, so you got to think like, that would be a whole different jump.
It would be.
Well, I thought the other day I said something to somebody and was like, I would love to see the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I've got to see.
And they were like, it's not as cool as you think it is because you can't see the back stretch. But at the same time, of course, you come by at 210.
You got to. At the end of the day, like doing what we do, talking about what we do. I feel like if I don't go see the Daytona 500 at some point, I've just messed up.
Yeah. What's your favorite NASCAR track? Like when they're like, "Hey, we're going to race here," you're like, "Fine."
It's Martinsville. It's always Martinsville.
I do not like Martinsville.
You don't? Why?
Because I feel like, I've seen I like the fast pace. I do like the fast pace. My favorite. This sounds crazy, and everybody thinks I'm crazy saying this. My favorite. I have 2 favorite tracks to watch.
Okay.
Texas.
And
Dover.
Texas is poop.
Do you not like Texas?
It's awful. I can't say that word.
I forgot. It's okay.
Okay, all right, cool. Texas is a terrible track.
I like Texas.
You have a very controversial opinion right now.
Always.
Please don't put this on Twitter. People are going to be so upset with you.
I like Texas track.
Texas.
Texas.
It's like a bad Charlotte.
Yeah. I said it's a good Charlotte. I said it's a good Charlotte.
No, Charlotte. Did you not see this race on Monday?
That was great.
It was an awesome race.
I did love that
race.
Texas.
And what was the other one you said?
Dover.
Dover's a great track.
I do like Dover.
Dover's scary. They say that
it's like technical.
They say walking into Dover is one of the most intimidating places you'll
Really?
Well, it's called the Monster Mile, right?
Yeah.
They said you walk in, you're like, oh, that's why it's called.
Why.
Like it's scary.
Yeah.
Take Bristol. You've been to Bristol.
Yeah.
Double it.
Just expand it out.
Just make it bigger. It's made all of concrete, and it's.
They say concrete, the walls, and then like where that back wall comes in, dents in. They're like it's like a.
Well, they always call it the self-cleaning racetrack.
Yeah.
You're hitting something.
Well, yeah.
Like I think maybe Jimmy Johnson one time didn't hit anything and then won the race.
Yeah.
That dude was a monster there. Well, I think he won 8 or 10 times at Dover.
That's crazy.
He was crazy.
And then if you do like that, you got to be like good driver.
Oh,
Not take yourself out. Because they even say, if you're wrecking on the top, you're going to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
If you wreck on the bottom, you're going to the top.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're going to hit something no matter what you do.
That would suck.
Dover and Texas.
Dover, Texas. That's crazy, though.
I love Martinsville. And I'm trying to think of like that track that I'm really excited
I'm just not
about.
a fan of road courses.
I get that. No,
but at the same time, like
really
going to watch it in person, I also feel like you can't see everything.
Right.
You're only seeing like this section of the track.
Yeah, for sure.
It's more like
I'm not a huge fan of road courses either. I think maybe at one point when we only had 2 on the schedule, I was like, I'd like to have a little more road courses because they were fun. They were a little technical. They go into they kind of go into some fuel strategy. Sometimes it would be it kind of turned into Formula One. You'd have like a strategy race. Well, now we've got freaking 6 or 7 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, that's too many.
Yeah, you don't need every
You cannot have 20% of the schedule be road courses, and we were built on ovals. You know what I mean? Cannot have that many. Too many. I think if we could get to 3 or 4, and then replace them with a good short track.
Yeah.
Great.
That would be cool. I like take one out for North Wilkesboro.
North Wilkesboro is a points race. Have a 400, 500 lap race.
I really did like that North Wilkesboro race, man.
I didn't love the race. I mean,
it reminded me kind of more of a late model race. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's exactly. I told Wynn that. He said, we're like, it kind of, single filed out, and it kind of just turned into a little bit of a parade at times. And I said, how many times have we seen a late model race do that at Tri County? Or it happens all the time.
Yeah.
It was a short track race.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. And usually you've got that one guy that goes out there and spanks everybody.
And when he's there, Kyle Larson.
That's it, Larson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best driver in the world and probably either the first or second best car out there right now. It's not surprising.
Yeah.
No one should be surprised that he went out there and whooped them.
Yeah.
So
I did like that.
It was fun. We were there in person. It was a little boring in person.
Was it?
But the good thing is we had like the headset. Tyler brought headsets, so we at least kind of heard like pit strategy and stuff that was going on. So that was nice.
It's a little bit more tuned with it than
I think that's essential if you go see a Cup race or any race, any NASCAR race. You got the headsets and you can hear and scan and listen to the drivers and the crew chiefs and stuff. So much better.
That's super cool though.
Yeah, but so I don't know. I think this year it's Martinsville and with North Wilkesboro. I told Dad as soon as they said they were going back there, I said, we're going. Unless it's insanely expensive, we're going.
Yeah.
And it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't ridiculous. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when we were able to get tickets.
They sold out so fast, didn't they?
Like the same day.
Really?
Like 6 or 8 hours.
Because I remember seeing it, we're going to Wilkesboro, and I was like, that'd be cool to see it. Then it was like, it'd been 2 weeks past when they said it. Then they were like, there ain't no tickets.
No, there ain't no tickets. Buddy. And and I think when they started, they did like the 3-day pass, and that's what we bought. We went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh yeah, you did.
So I think that's what sold out. I think they had some single day tickets there, but I think by the time the race happened, it was completely gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, so the tire goes over. Kirkwood, and the same time he flips. Did you see that too?
Yeah.
He flips up onto the wall, skidding across. People on Twitter, he flipped. So I didn't know this. This is new for me, and I think it'll probably be new for people that are listening. In IndyCar, NASCAR, to show that you're okay, you put your window net down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get done crash, you put your window net down. In IndyCar, there's no window net. How you signal that you're okay, you flip your visor up.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So you flip the visor up in your helmet, and you say, I'm okay.
I'm conscious.
I'm here, Well, if you see the in-car camera, I don't know if you noticed, he flips his visor up, but he's still scooting.
Yeah.
He's still flat. Yeah. And Twitter is ripping this dude apart. You should let your visor down. It's unsafe.
Done wrecking.
And he comes out and he goes, and the camera exposure makes it look like it was really bright in there.
Yeah.
He goes, it was dark. He said, it was dark. I couldn't tell how fast I was going. I didn't even know where I was.
He said,
I thought I was done. Flip my visor up because I was like, what the heck is going on? I mean, the sparks are behind him. Yeah. Everybody forgets the halo bars up here. Sparks are behind him, though. He can't see what's going on. No. He said he had no concept of it. And I'm like, people on Twitter are stupid.
So mad about it.
People are so dumb.
So mad. He was like, sorry, I'm telling you I was okay.
Sorry, I'm telling you I was okay. And, by the way, I didn't even know I was done crashing. So there was nothing for me to. I just flipped it up out of an instinctual. I'm okay.
Hey,
flip it up.
I'm okay.
I hate the internet.
It's awful.
We live on the internet. I put all of this stuff.
All this is on the internet. We
all
hate the internet.
It, and I hate it though.
Thank you guys.
Maybe it's the people. Maybe it's not the internet. It's just the people on the internet.
Definitely the people on the internet. The people on the internet are awful.
But yeah, I was just saying, like, people, and he literally had to explicitly put a tweet out that explained why it was, because he's like, this wasn't, like, I realize it was unsafe, but what do you want me to do?
That's my signal to be like, hey, I'm okay.
And yeah,
that's crazy.
So I don't know, that people annoy me so bad when it comes to that stuff. And I guess we're probably bad about it, right? We come on here on Mondays and talk about stuff.
Talk exactly
we
about
probably
how we feel.
Yeah, we don't.
None of us ever sat in a sprint car or
never sat in anything. Wynn's the only one of us who's ever sat in a race car. But I mean, yeah, that's what we're here for, though. Give our opinions on things that we don't know anything about.
Yeah, that's easy. Good.
Did you see Kanan go on the inside and go into the grass?
No.
Did you see this?
No.
It was super scary.
In the grass?
Sketchy. 4 wheels in the grass. They're going down the back straightaway. He gets this huge run. I don't know who he was coming up on. He gets this huge run, so he dives the inside. He puts all 4 tires in the grass, gets back on the pavement, completes the pass, and it's fine.
Makes the pass on grass.
On the grass, yeah. He did the actual pass in the grass. Dale Earnhardt did the maintained position in the grass.
Yeah, man.
So this guy was going 200 and some miles an hour in the grass. And it's probably best that he didn't, or it's probably best that it worked out the way it did, because I think if he had like tried to hit the brakes or something, it would
or even turn
at all. And he just, anything significantly. I think if he hits the brakes, he goes to the wall.
Yeah.
He just flat-footed it. It didn't look like he lifted and just.
I'd never let go in the grass. There's no way.
What do you mean?
Like if you were in the grass in there, and as soon as you let off, you're just like.
Oh yeah. It's
kind of like it feels like you're kind of floating. I feel like.
And plus, you lose downforce. Those cars are all about speed. So the faster you're going, the more downforce you have.
Imagine being like driving, and all of a sudden be like, "Here, a spider, be like, hey, somebody's passing you. He's in the grass," and you're like. What? And
that guy's the one who needs to lift. Just let go on, man. You fairly crazier than me.
Go on, dude. Yeah, I'd be like, go ahead, man.
But so in general, and then Joseph Newgarden wins. This is like the biggest, of course it's his biggest single win, but like it's like the only thing in IndyCar this dude hasn't accomplished. He's won championships. He's won a bunch of races.
It's kind of like the last thing you need to do, like
good.
he wanted to do.
And like he wins it. There's a last lap. There's a 1-lap shootout. That was another big controversial thing. They red flagged the race with one to go, and they ended up with 1-lap shootout. They kind of did the same thing last year. It was a 2-lap shootout last year.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't think the Indy 500 needs to be any like overtimes or anything like we do in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Respect the distance of the race. It's the Indy 500, 500 miles. If you're on the last lap and it comes out to a caution,
call it.
You gotta call it. You gotta finish it. You know what I mean? But like something like that, the front straightaway was blocked. So let them come through, stop the cars, and do a 1-lap. I mean, it made it great for the fans.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was super exciting. Newgarden passed him
him
his pass on that last lap was nuts. He went around the outside in turn 1 and just like he never lifted. And it was ballsy. I mean, and like I said, you go back to just like how insanely scary these cars are in general.
Yeah.
And then now you got to pass another guy who wants the Indy 500 win.
Oh yeah.
As bad as you do, or worse maybe, because it was the guy who won it last year, so he's going for 2 in a row. That's a huge story.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And just for him to be there, and then Ericsson comes out and goes, "Well, I just think it was unsafe. I don't think we should have had that last year." I was like, "Of course you don't.
Of course you don't now. Of course you don't now.
If you had won, you'd have been like, "Oh, it's fine."
Hey, let's do a shootout next year."
No big deal.
Yeah, you'd be like, I can do it again.
But good for Newgarden. Good for Roger Penske. It's the first. He has won 19 Indy 500s.
That's
19.
That's nuts.
That's a lot. I mean, it's his first time he's won it since he owned the racetrack.
Yeah.
And the first time he's won it, I believe, since he's owned he bought the series and the racetrack at the same time. So, yeah. First time he's won the Indy 500 as a series owner and as the racetrack owner.
That's cool for him.
I think he's made of money.
Yeah.
Do you think he just puts $100 bills in his mattress?
Gotta be.
Just sleeps in them.
You imagine how much his mattress costs, even? His mattress costs more than our cars.
All of our cars we own combined.
He's just like, I sleep on this money.
That's what I'm saying.
After that win, he's like, I'm gonna sleep on some more money.
Some more money. He just is like a little firmer. I don't know. There's just the money he has to have is
insane.
It's cubic volumes. It's
insane.
Yeah, but good for him. I mean, I just think Roger Penske's just one of the best to ever do it. Period.
Even like in the Cup Series, I was never crazy about the Penske team. But
really?
They've
always been my favorite.
But like now, like the past like 3 or 4 years, like I like the team. Like there's
Blaney, you got Blaney, who's awesome.
I love Blaney.
It was, I think, probably the best setup that Penske had was when it was Blaney, Joey, and Brad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was. I mean, I think Brad's an awesome race car driver.
I do too.
Joey is an awesome race car. I mean, he gets so much hate.
I don't like him at all. Like I'll sit here and be like, I hate Joey, but like I cannot sit here and say like that man is one hell of a race car.
He's a heck of a race car driver. Yeah. I mean, you cannot. I mean, he's won 1 or 2 Daytona 500s.
One.
Definitely one. He's definitely won one.
He's
won 2 championships. I don't know how many race wins he has at this point, but it's plenty.
It's got to be getting up to there.
It's plenty. Yeah, it's up there. So he's definitely a Hall of Fame guy one day.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah. I don't understand. That's what I don't get about him.
He's got a strategy of making some good cars and some good drivers. Like there's you know they know what they're doing for sure.
Okay, of course,
for sure.
Yeah, I think that I wish Austin Cindric would do better.
Do you?
But I don't care. Does that sound bad?
No, because I'm not like everybody who's been in the 2 car before Austin Cindric. Like I feel like it's just had a spark. Like just had that spark, and then we put Austin in.
Rusty.
Yeah,
Rusty Wallace.
Rusty, and then you get Keselowski. Then when you go to Cindric, you're like,
who was in that car between them? I wonder.
There was. No, I must have Newman. That's 12.
That's 12 car.
That is 12 car.
Yeah. And he was a rocket then too.
Rocket,
man. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think that I don't know. It's kind of like Austin Dillon in the 3 to me, and not even comparable. Really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you something to kind of go off of, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's like it's a number. It's associated with somebody big like Rusty Wallace.
It's gonna stay there.
Brad.
It's gonna stay there.
It's gonna stay.
You gotta have somebody to fill it in.
But I hate that. I guess if you're gonna be in that number, I want you to do better.
Yeah, I guess is what I'm saying. I get what you're saying.
But like these new guys, and we've talked about it 100 times now already. It's only 12th episode, and we've already talked about it 100 times. But like these just new guys, they don't have personality.
No.
And like I've seen Austin like put stuff on social media and stuff. So he's like, I think he's a fun dude.
Yeah.
But he's Penske through and through. I mean, his dad called the strategy on the New Garden car.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His dad is the president of Penske.
I think that's why he's in the car though. Yeah.
Duh. I mean, it certainly didn't hurt the situation.
It sure didn't hurt
it. I mean, he started out road course racing and then ended up here.
I knew it was road course racing.
Yeah, that's his background was in like not IMSA, but like GT racing, I guess, like fendered cars. That were road course racing. But yeah, that's where he started. But I mean, yeah, it certainly didn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would like to see that 2 car do better, but it's just not Brad in there anymore.
Yeah.
I loved that Miller car, that white and blue Miller car.
Oh, that was beautiful.
They run those white
that
wheels.
Was beautiful.
White wheels.
I loved it.
So good.
I loved it.
So good. I remember when your dad one time your dad had some white wheels that he was just using as just like move the car around. Hated them. He hated them. He hated the
chrome ones.
I walked in. Maybe it was the chrome ones.
He had some. I'm pretty sure he had some like white practice. Like when he first came in there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "These are awful." And then they got the chrome ones, and he was like, "Not as awful."
Yeah.
But still awful.
I remember walking in out there and seeing them white wheels on that car, and I thought, "Oh my God, it looks so good."
I do really.
And
like
I was like, "Eugene, those white wheels are perfect." And he was like, "No, they're terrible. I hate them. Get rid of them." And I was like,
if he says it's terrible, there's no way to hit the track with it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's all. I mean, that's personal preference. I don't blame him at all. But that Miller car. I literally, a cousin of mine had a Miller Lite Racing neon sign.
That'd been so cool.
And he had busted it, and he gave it to me, and I was super cool of him. He gave it to me, and I kept it for a long time. But Mom and Dad, they got it fixed for me when I graduated college.
Yeah.
And I still have it set up in the top of the garage at the house. But like I got that just because of Brad.
Yeah.
Like that was it.
And
normal people would have got it because of Rusty. Like my brother-in-law would have been nuts about it for Rusty. But I was like, I got it for Brad because I really like the heck out of that
car was cool.
Yeah.
But I think he had some like the best paint schemes in it. Even though I like though The Busch Light, Rusty Wallace skiing was like so iconic.
Yeah, like the midnight and all that.
Still sticks around, but like I think like when they put Brad in there, had like a couple things, the white wheels were on and everything. That looked so.
And then I think that one year they won that the 600, and it was the Miller Lite car, but it was like an American flag.
Yeah,
that was a nice car.
Nice.
I was there for that race.
Really?
Yeah, that was the one I went to, and they drug the jack. The jack got trapped under the car, and they drug it around the track.
Oh yeah.
And he had to go to the back, and he still won the race. And I remember I was in college, and I went and saw that race down in Charlotte. So
that's cool.
That's cool. All right, that's the first two. Monaco, Indy. That one really went way out there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Coke 600 happens on Monday finally. 600 miles, longest race of the year.
Memorial.
I could have watched it for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's how good it was. That's how good it was. Just flat out good race, strategy, lots of passing, bunch of cautions, people losing it on their own. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick spin out by themselves.
Yeah.
Looks like it's hard to do, which is what it should be because it's the hardest. Cup Series should be the hardest thing to drive.
Oh yeah, it should be.
So let's dig into it a little bit.
Let's dig into it.
Do you think that now that Charlotte Oval's putting on such good shows that we get rid of the Roval in October and we go back to the Oval?
Yeah.
We should?
Yeah, I think we should.
Just get rid of the Roval altogether.
Yeah.
That'd be one of the road courses we eliminate.
Yeah.
And it's not like a historic road course.
Yeah,
so
It's not like a Sonoma thing, kind of like where you've had it.
You gotta have Watkins Glen, Sonoma.
Yeah, those are the two that I'm like, I'm cool with those being in there. Even though I'm not a fan, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
You gotta have them because like Sonoma, and Watkins Glen is just one of the most historic racetracks in all of North America. Like I won't just say the U.S. In all of North America, Watkins Glen, an amazing racetrack, and they say it's a really cool place to go to if you go watch a race.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, you got to keep those two for sure. I'm with you. I think we get rid of. I think we can get rid of the Roval.
Put another race on Charlotte.
Go back to the Oval.
That'd be cool.
Let it run.
A little bit smaller race.
Because that's how we did it for years.
Yeah.
It was a 600-mile race, and then there was the 400-mile race for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you'd be back in the playoffs. You saw the drama that happened this weekend alone in a 600-mile race.
Yeah.
Now, put that race in the playoffs, and what do you get?
Crazy.
It's going to get nuts. It's going to be absolutely crazy.
I don't like having a road course in the playoffs.
I think you got to have one.
You got to have one?
You got to have one.
At least one?
I believe so. My belief on the playoffs, if you're going to do it this way, it's going to be 10 races.
Yeah.
I think that there has to be every type of track over the whole season in the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
You need to have a super speedway, you got to have a short track, you need to have a mile-and-a-half track, and you need to have a road course.
Yeah.
I always thought that.
I get that, yeah.
And we didn't have it for years. It was just a few years ago that we got a road course in it with the Roval.
Yeah.
I think you have to have. I think you should have to. I think you should have every type of track that we run over the other 26 races in those last 10.
Yeah, I get that too. Yeah.
But I don't know where you would go if the Roval is our one road course. Is that the only road course we're running into the playoffs now?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so too. I don't know where we go. I mean, at Watkins Glen, you should go up there. It's not that far up to New York.
Oh yeah,
to California. Because you got to think about logistics and where everything is.
Because like bouncing around, because they kind of stay in the same area when they move.
Or I mean, you go. Get rid of something. Get rid of one of the others and go down to like Road Atlanta, Road America. Those are pretty close. Yeah. Not too far away. So there's options there, I think. But I think you have to have all types.
I think the Roval is the worst road course race, though.
The first year it wasn't. First year was nuts, but it was because it was new and nobody knew what was going on.
Everybody was just kind of like, let's see how this goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We see that everywhere. Like last year, St. Louis was kind of a crazy race, and it probably shouldn't have been such a crazy race. And I guess we'll find out this weekend if it actually is going to be good. So let's see about that. But I'm with you. It's definitely kind of run its course a little, I think. The last year wasn't so good. I get why they want to do it because, trying to keep it. The thought of the Roval is cool because you can kind of see the whole track. It's a road course. You can sit in the stands,
you're in the stadium,
you sit
it's still
high
in
up,
the stadium.
and you can see everything. I understand the purpose of it, but the whole reason they went there was because ticket sales were bad for the Oval because Oval racing was bad. But Charlotte has put on the best oval race in the past 2 seasons with this car.
You're taking out one of the best oval to put in
a not so great road course
just because of ticket sales.
Right.
Do you think there's ever a point like where you got enough people like, oh, NASCAR's just turning left, and we go 50 50 road course oval.
You can't.
I hope not.
No, you
can't. I really hope
not. There's too many series. If you want to watch that, go watch IndyCar.
That's what I'm saying.
Go watch IndyCar or IMSA. IMSA. I think that we need to have max 4 road courses on our schedule. That would call it 10% of the schedule would be road courses.
Like that.
That's fine. 3 or 4, I would say. And like I said, you got to keep Sonoma and Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Maybe you do 3. You keep those 2, and you rotate the third one. Go to different road courses each year. Maybe.
I like the Charlotte Roval being like not in the playoffs and then coming back to Charlotte again for the 3rd time for the oval.
You can't come 3 times.
You can if one of them's a road course.
Let's saturate a market.
That's true.
You would not. People wouldn't come.
Yeah, because you
pick one of them. If you come to the market 2 max. I'm even still hesitant on going back to racetracks twice in a season.
Really?
I think there's so many great racetracks out there. There's so many good short tracks that you could go to. I think the only 2 races that you absolutely have to go back to twice is Daytona.
Yep.
Got to start there at the 500, and you need to have a second race there for the July. Well, it's not July anymore, but whenever it is, the Coke 400. Yeah. You got to have a 400-mile race. I don't know why I think that. But I think you got to have that's about the only track that I can think of.
It's got to be the biggest race of the year. Like the Daytona, when you have it, it's got to be the biggest race of the year.
Yeah.
500, and then hey, that was so big that if you still wanted to come and see it, you come and see it again.
Yeah. And it's
400.
those races are always different. They always race differently. The 500 versus the 400-mile race always. I don't know. It seems like you have different contenders. Every time. So it's still, and the other track that I would say, just because I think it's the greatest track that we have, is Bristol, but I think you take the freaking dirt off of it.
Yeah,
take the dirt off. I
think it's
our best short track.
People didn't like this. I said something about this the other day to a couple buddies. I think the All-Star race should be dirt Bristol. No, just because it doesn't count.
Just get rid of dirt.
I get it, but I think the people, it's just different.
We've outgrown it. Get rid of these are sports cars.
These are basically
sports cars.
No reason we should throw them on dirt.
If you want to do this, fine. But you tell them you're gonna. Okay, boys, we're not racing the next year car. We're gonna build a dirt specific car.
Yeah,
you're gonna race it once a year. That's not gonna fly. Because teams are gonna go, that's stupid. That's too expensive. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna happen. But these are not dirt cars. They're not made to go on the dirt. They've got diffusers on them.
That's why I think if we're gonna race dirt, it shouldn't be anything that counts against you. Is what I think, because it's just like. You got some boys out.
I think if you want to race,
Brad, when he was there, he was starting in the rear, and you could tell that man was there just to get through the race.
Just wanted to get done.
He was like, "Hey, this sucks." Like,
it's stupid.
It's not a NASCAR race.
Well, it's not good if Kyle Larson, who's a dirt guru, comes out and says,
"Watch this," and everybody's like, "Oh, if everybody knows again, he's about to whoop us."
But but he doesn't.
Yeah,
because it's a gimmick. It's not really racing. It's not really dirt racing.
Yeah,
and this year's the first year that a dirt guy. Christopher Bell has won the dirt race.
Yeah.
First year was Joey.
Oh yeah, well,
Joey's a great race car driver, but that clearly shows you that it's not, his background is not dirt.
Yeah.
And Kyle won it the second year only because 2 guys took themselves out.
Yeah.
And I don't believe Tyler Reddick's background is dirt racing either. Briscoe's
was third this year or second? He was in top 3.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was in top 3 because I remember it was him. I want to say it was him, Chase Briscoe, and. Yeah, or what would you
Bush
say?
won.
Yeah.
Bush. No, he didn't.
No,
he didn't.
Not this year. Christopher Bell won last year. Because it was Briscoe and Bell who took each other out last year, wasn't it?
Briscoe and Reddick.
Briscoe and Reddick, yeah. And then Briscoe and Reddick were up there because they were like, "Oh, is anybody gonna get the redemption?" And Bell, you could tell the last 25 laps, Bell was just cutting laps out there.
Oh yeah,
and he was
he was the only one that could run the cushion real high.
There. Yeah.
Sorry to get on to Bristol dirt, but I think we just get rid of it. I think if you want to do Bristol, if you want to do dirt,
I do like the 2-time Bristol, not on dirt.
If you want to do a dirt race, do it in like an off-season exhibition
like
style
how they did the
thing. Yeah, do that, but don't count it toward points.
Yeah,
and basically be like, I can't even get behind it being that.
It's like if you even have half the people who want to run it, be like, all right, we'll throw it in there at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, just so you can do it. But if people,
we've already got a 38 race schedule in 39 weeks,
and over half the people don't want to do it, cut it.
Yeah,
cut it.
Well, they will
Yeah.
They absolutely would.
Yeah,
we have a 38 race season, 38 weeks over 39. There's one off weekend for these guys. It's exhausting. Imagine this weekend. You're supposed to run it on Sunday. You got delayed till Monday. Now, the Xfinity guys specifically. So you were supposed to race on Saturday.
Yeah.
It got delayed. It didn't happen, or it ended up happening. You're supposed to happen Saturday. It didn't happen Saturday. They tried to get it in on Sunday. No,
it didn't work. Yeah, they did. I thought they did. And then both of them got rained out.
Monday. Then they both got rained out on. Yeah, that's right.
Both
so then they end up racing on Monday. Am I right?
Yeah, both of them.
So Coke 600% won it, and then the Xfinity guys get done at midnight on Monday. They have to get the cars back, and then they had to drive to Portland, Oregon, to race this weekend. That means that those truck guys needed to be on the road probably Tuesday.
Yeah,
because it's like 50 hours to Portland. Good Lord,
that's a lot. That is a lot of moving.
And that happens all the time. Like the Western or the Western Swing out there at the beginning of the year. You go from Daytona, and then you leave Daytona, go back home to Mooresville or wherever, out west to Fontana, and then Phoenix, and then Las Vegas, and then back home.
That's a lot of moving, man.
Gosh. And they literally take a guy. They would, like the truck drivers. They would send one. Like they would basically send one out there.
Yeah.
As one was coming back.
Yeah.
Just the money.
It's so much money moving people, dude.
And we talk about that with Formula One too. The logistics of Formula One is insane. These guys are traveling countries. I mean, they're flying across continents. And they're doing it in a week. They'll be here. They were in Miami, and then a week later they were in Imola, and wherever in Europe. Yeah,
that's so much.
Okay, all right. We've talked a whole bunch. Coke 600. Two big things that come out of it. First off, Chase and Denny. Chase Elliott gets suspended this weekend for right hooking Denny down the dogleg at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Pretty clear it was intentional.
Obviously.
He was pretty mad.
Yeah.
Denny doors him a little. Doesn't really wreck him. This is your boy, by the way.
Trying to be biased.
The goat that you call him.
No, the goat's cobbler. Second.
Oh, okay. Second goat. Baby goat. The Billy goat. The Billy goat is Denny. Denny kind of gives him a door. Nothing egregious, I would say.
Nothing to make you want to right hook somebody.
Hey, right hooks him going 170 miles an hour down the straightaway.
Yeah.
Did he deserve to be suspended this week?
Chase?
No, Denny. Chase. Sorry. Yeah. He deserved it, right?
He just deserved it, but yeah.
I'm going to say something, and I know there's people that are listening to this, and they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
They're going to hate me.
Yeah. See, I feel like people are going to hate me for just saying, he deserved it.
For sure.
Suspended.
Well, for sure. Well, I'm going to go with you.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm going to give you something else.
Okay.
If you were standing on your rooftop screaming that Bubba Wallace should never race in NASCAR again because he right-hooked Tara Larson at Las Vegas last year, and then you try and tell me that Chase doesn't need to be suspended this week, you're bozo.
Yeah, you're being biased.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
This was...
I think a right hook is the worst thing ever. Like in racing, just because you're going to the wall.
It's the worst thing you can do to
someone.
You're
going to the wall.
It's the most dangerous thing that you can do to someone.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've clearly talked about it on here before. We're not Bubba Wallace fans. I don't love the guy. I'm not going to boo him because I talked about it at North Wilkesboro the other day.
He can drive the wheels off a car, dude.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't think I would go that far. He's okay. I mean, he's fine.
I think he deserves to be like in the cup, obviously.
I guess so.
Quick,
I mean, clearly the sponsors like him. Yeah. He's going to be there for a while. Get used to him being there. Yeah. Stop screaming every weekend that he needs to be gone because he's not going anywhere. Just accept it. I mean, I'm not a huge Bubba Wallace fan, but I don't think his personality is really great. I think he just kind of is just not, for me, he's not such a great guy. Has nothing to do with anything else.
Of the people around him?
Now, it could be.
Because, I mean, after a while, dude, when he came out of Bristol, dog, and, I mean, it was so bad. It felt like almost cars were roaring how many people were booing it.
That's how it was in North Wilkesboro.
And if you keep hearing that just in the weekly, I mean, finally you're getting to the point where I'm like, F these guys.
I think at some point you just become the villain.
Yeah,
just be the jerk.
You're finally like, okay, I'll take it. That's kind of what I think.
You're going to hate me.
I think that's what Kyle did. He was like, I don't know why these people are booing around.
People hate me.
He didn't care.
And it literally started because he was Kurt's brother. That's where it started for Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
And then it went from there. And so at one point, he was just like, all right, I'm just going to be the bad guy.
But I think to become the villain, you got to be winning.
got to be winning.
You see, you got like Bubba can come on and be like
finishing 15th.
Talking smack, but you can't be doing that if you're not.
That's what I say. If you're finishing 15th to 20th every week, which he hasn't been.
No, I said the last thing
he's been getting top 5 2 weeks in a row.
That's what I thought.
Both the 2311 cars top 5 2 weeks in a row. That's good. It's a new team. Clearly, they're figuring out something. I don't think. I mean, Bubba ain't no.
I don't think he's a contender.
He's not the greatest of all time by any means. No. He's just a regular old race car driver.
Yeah.
But how many regular old race car drivers are out there now? Plenty of them.
Have to fill.
Get over it. He's going to be there for a while.
He's going to be
But to get back on Chase and Denny, Chase absolutely deserved to be penalized for this. He did not chase him as far down the track as Bubba chased Larson at Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But it was very clearly a right hook.
Did you see where Denny posted on Twitter?
The SMT.
The SMT thing?
What a boss move.
It is a boss, but like everybody, well, like I also think the one thing that it did crack me up because obviously I'm a Denny fan.
Yep.
Where everybody was like, you put Larson in the wall and then complain.
Okay, all right, I'm okay with that. Let's talk about that.
But also when they came off, Larson hit the wall, right?
Yes.
You're on the last lap. You're telling me you're getting smoked, bounce off the wall, come into you. You're not moving.
Larson also was about this far off the wall when he hit.
Yeah.
When he got hooked, he went this far.
Yeah.
He wasn't 3 car lengths below the wall.
He wasn't turning headed 2 into 1, like headed through the middle and like, because I mean he had 2 like car spaces beside him to hit the wall. And when they hit hard.
They hit really hard.
They hit hard.
They said I listened to his podcast this week and he said that his neck muscles were crazy sore. Like he was like, I'm literally having to kind of like hold. Which I mean, don't get me wrong. I do believe that Denny is probably being just a smidge dramatic. He is on a podcast. I mean, he's just being a little dramatic. He's somewhere having to hold his neck up. Okay.
Don't know about that.
I mean, sure, your neck probably hurts, but I mean, I think you're probably being a
you
little
hit a wall at 170 and some seatbelts, you're gonna feel it.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know about
sure.
like if you're like, I need your neck cone, like that kind of thing. But like,
but
he sold it.
Going back to Denny and Larson.
Yeah.
At where were they? Kansas.
Yeah.
At Kansas.
Larson comes off.
The other thing that goes with this, I believe, Larson still finished second in that race.
Didn't take him out. He didn't hook him. He never turned the wheel.
He didn't wreck him. Larson goes up, bounces off the wall. He bounces off the wall, and Denny is there. Denny's driving off of him at that point.
Yeah.
When they're coming out of the corner, he's just going to he wants to put his car right here at his rear spoiler. That's his whole point. So if Larson goes up far enough to hit the wall, and Denny's judging his turn off of Larson, when he bounces off the wall, he's going to hit Denny.
Yeah.
And so I don't know
because everybody was like, "You turned Larson." No, I don't think he turned Larson, and everybody's gonna be like,
they were racing hard. It was the last lap. He didn't wreck him that hard. Larson still finished.
I'm not
second.
making room for somebody to bounce off the wall or even give him room to do anything on the last lap.
Not only the last lap, last half a lap. They were on the backstretch.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that was a dump.
That was a dump. And the thing that drives me crazy about this thing for Chase is that car was not hurt.
No.
He ruined his day. He had to park the freaking race car because of this deal with Denny.
Yeah.
He could have easily bounced off the wall. There was guys bouncing off the wall all night. Yeah. He could have bounced off the wall, finished that race, had a good points day.
Points, yeah.
I mean, Chase is probably not going to be able to point his way in because of when he was out with a broken leg.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've seen crazier things happen, like this thing with the 14 that we'll talk about next.
Yeah.
There's the potential for big penalties for some guys that are in front of him that could get him to condition where he could be points racing.
Chance to run for it.
You got to think about this. I mean, does the 9 win a race between now and the beginning of the playoffs? I hope so. I think he should.
I see it.
He has to.
He's got to.
I mean, they've got to. The 5 and the 24 have been so fast. And the only reason I think the 48 and the 9 haven't been so fast is because they ain't had their drivers. They had Josh in the 9 and then Josh went into the 48. And Josh is great, but those weeks that he drove for those cars were the first time he'd ever been in an next-gen car.
Yeah.
These guys have been racing for a whole season last year, except for Bowman, who was out with concussion last year, for those races, and then, you know, the beginning of this season. So it's just different. But he could have absolutely finished that race and got a good points day, went home, and been fine. But now he's going to stay at home. He let his temper.
What do you think about Corey in that 9?
I think it's
cool.
It's great.
I love it
for him.
Yeah.
If it goes well.
Yeah. If it goes bad, then this.
He's got to capitalize on this because Corey. I think Corey's a good guy. I'm still not completely sold on Corey's full on talent.
Me neither.
Because, I mean, you know, I don't want to speak on this too much because he's been in really bad cars.
Yeah. He's not been in a I feel like a high performance car, like you say, like Penske, Hendrick, something
Hendrick
like that.
Is the top right now, for sure.
Definitely.
So he's going to get into a very fast car. Like I said, I just hope he capitalizes.
Oh, he does.
What is success for Corey LaJoie at the end of this race? When he gets out of the car, does he go, I showed them what I did. This is what I can do if I'm in a good car. Where does he have to finish? What does he have to do?
I'm going to say top 15.
Top 15?
Top 15. I think 10's a stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think top 15, stretch. He goes, that was a good day.
Yeah.
I think top 10 says,
10, I can drive.
I can drive. If you put me in good equipment, I can drive. I think top 10 gets Corey LaJoie a door open.
Yeah.
Next year.
So that's what I was going to say.
Potentially.
But for him just to be like, hey, I feel like I've done good is a top 15.
Top 15, he says, I did what I could do.
Yeah.
Top 5 or top 10 is like,
good.
This is... Like, he's going to come out and feel like he won the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's from around here.
LaJoie?
Yeah.
He's from down in Charlotte.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was from North Carolina.
Well, I mean, his dad's from up north somewhere.
Oh, because when he came out of Bristol, dude, they went nuts.
Oh, well, I mean, he's kind of
for Corey.
Like, Corey's been kind of, he's kind of that small, he's like the what you would back in the day, like a owner operator driver.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what people see him. He helps his dad build seats at their seat because they make the LaJoie of racing.
Yeah.
They make racing seats. So he
can
weld seats
and you know
they say he's worked hard and done what he needed to do. So I think people see him as kind of like that everyday working guy.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people identify him.
Just like, oh, he's good. He get an opportunity. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm really these two stories. I'm really glad we ended up pushing this podcast back till today, honestly, because we actually got to see kind of the outcome of it. Chase is out this weekend. Like I said, he's not going to be racing in St. Louis. They didn't document any points or anything, but I mean, like I said, it's just another week he's out of the car. I mean, he was out for 5 or 6 weeks with a broke leg. Now he's going to be out. That's 20% of the season. He's been out.
You got to have a win. I mean, obviously.
At this point, he has to win.
Got to have a win.
But Briscoe penalty. Yesterday they come out. Briscoe had not just so we've seen a few penalties so far.
The highest penalty you can get in a NASCAR penalty.
Yeah, we've seen it before of these guys modifying parts.
Yeah,
they hit it. They Hendrick with louvers and colic, but they ended up overturning that, and they hit last year RFK for I think it was a deck lid. I don't remember. Anyways, a deck lid or something. Big penalties for that. They hit Briscoe with a 25 playoff point. They took away 25 playoff points, 120 drivers and owners points.
That hurts.
6 race suspension for his crew chief, and a $250,000 fine. $250,000 fine. Holy smokes! And you know what the bad part is? He's been one of the slowest cars on the track for like the whole season.
Even if it's like at the point you're like,
how do you have a bad part and be that slow?
How do you have this modified of a car to be in the back of the field?
Now, to be fair, they did come out. I read the statement on it. They said it was a quality control issue, and it was a piece that never should have been that should never have been able to get on the car. So I don't know if they were using it for like mock-up or something. They're just using it to mock something up, and then that piece somehow got. The reason I think that they probably didn't, that this actually was a screw up, was they're not going to appeal it at all.
Yeah.
And lately with the appeals panel, I feel like you have to at least try to appeal because sometimes you just get it lucky and they overturn something.
With like somebody who's been kind of running in the backpack, appeal it just to be like, see if we can at least get him a little bit of a boost, just like cut it out because he's not even there, like up there yet. But like,
this is crazy.
That's
bad. and they said when this car came out that they were going to, we're going to be strict. Don't change these parts. They're single source parts. You can buy them from one place. You can do all this stuff. The whole purpose of this, because the owners were complaining everything was too expensive. So we're going to do this. We're going to save money. Blah blah blah. All this stuff. So man, when they cracked down, they cracked down. 120 drivers points. That's
hurt. That's
insane. I thought last year it was crazy when Brad got the 100 points.
Yeah.
And he got 120 here, and $250,000 fine. And like I said, Tony Stewart has to be feeling that this morning.
So what if he's in the booth the next week just hurt? Just up there just watching him like, I wish that was modified. I wish that was modified right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I don't know. This penalty is insane, but it clearly shows, and this is not the first time that they've, like I said, we've seen other penalties where they modified parts. So, like, surely these teams have got to start cracking down on this to be like, we cannot do this. Like, we cannot afford these penalties.
Yeah,
I cannot afford $250,000. A few of those puts a race team out of business.
Yeah, because he's the only Stuart Haas car that got penalized, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's also like you were saying earlier, like, what if it was like a mock-up kind of thing? But, like, at the same time, why just that car? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's what makes me think
he was in the back being like, maybe if he was in the back, they're like, hey, we are going to do this to move him up. But, like,
I don't know.
That hurts. That's bad.
It's not good.
Especially for a driver in his position.
Exactly. And like I said, it hasn't been going so well for him anyway. So, last topic I think that I have. I think I had one more, but I can't remember. Yeah. Phoenix is back for the championship in 2024 for the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup race. Boo. Why? Boo. Who does Phoenix have dirty pictures of that allows them to keep letting them do this?
If anybody from Arizona is a part of this and sees this for some reason, let me just know I say, boo.
Boo, it's so bad. I don't even understand why. Sorry, I'm texting these guys to get their picture quick.
What do you think is the perfect championship track?
Oh.
Like, if you were to have one, you're like, I want to see the championship race battled out on this. What are you thinking? Where would you like to see it? Would you like to see a track that we don't hit normally? Would you like to see a track that we... I don't like a super speedway. I don't like a super speedway.
You can't have a super speedway. That's too much. There's too much roll of the dice.
I do like a motor speedway. I don't want a short, really.
I think you go back to like a mile and a half. It was Homestead. Homestead was so good. Homestead's an amazing racetrack. 3-lane racetrack. There's racing all around the track. It doesn't matter. That was a great track. I believe that you should rotate the championship race.
Yeah.
Because you go to Homestead.
Larson was great.
Larson's good. He runs the top. You got to run the top at Homestead to be super fast.
Yeah.
So that gives Larson an advantage. But I think every year, if Larson's in the Final Four, of course, but I think every year you have to change it so that you don't give any particular person or team.
Because if you got Joey back in there again this year, you're like, oh, whatever his setup was for Phoenix last year worked so well.
Yeah.
And if he's back there, they're going to be like, hey, throw that back on there so we can do it again.
Right.
So you got to change it up.
The kicker is, and I don't know exactly how you fix this, but it's not just Phoenix. If you think back to it, Joey won that Las Vegas race.
Yeah.
Before he won Phoenix.
Yeah.
So they had 2 weeks of basically freedom to get that car ready for Phoenix.
Just focus on Phoenix.
You got to fix that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you extend, if you're going to do this playoff thing, I don't know if you extend it to where you have like 2 more races in there.
Yeah.
And the last section is like 3 races.
Yeah.
So you have like the Final 4 is for 3 races.
For 3 different races, you got to balance out.
See who finishes ahead in those. I don't like the playoffs. I hate eliminating drive. I don't either. I like a full season points championship.
Say if you're the final, you got your Final 4 set against Phoenix. Why the other drivers is like, why are we even showing up?
Yeah, you're there for your sponsors.
Obviously, it's not going to be like the movie Cars where you race the last 3 together on a track and say good luck.
It's about the sponsors. It's about all that different stuff. You have to show up, right? And there's got to be a part of you that wants to be the guy who beats the championship for you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of that kind of guy. I'm a little.
I won Phoenix, but it doesn't really matter.
Angsty. Well, I would like to get out and be like, I won Phoenix, and it doesn't matter because. They're going to talk about champion, but still won it. I beat them.
Still did it.
If I'd been in the Final 4, or you sit there and go, where would I? The other thing that you go is you win this race, you look at it and go, where would I finish in the points?
Yeah.
If I won this race,
If I'd have got this win right here, then I'd have been a champion.
Right. Exactly.
If I'd have won this race right here, where I got second, I'd have been a champion.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. I think that's. I don't know exactly the answer on that. Let's ask Wynn and Jackson next week when they're back.
One thing we talked about that I did like bringing up. You like the stages.
I
don't like the stages at all. I don't think you should be rewarded for winning a third of the race.
I don't like the stages.
Yeah. Do you understand?
I don't like the stage cautions.
Yeah.
I understand
you did say that too. Keep
stages.
going. Yeah, keep going.
Don't don't change the race. Let the race play out. We've done it at road courses this year. We can do it.
Yeah.
We did it at the road course. We're going to do it at all the road courses this year. We can do it. So just let the race play out. Let those guys that are getting paid a lot of money to be very smart call a strategy. You know, what if there's a caution at this point? Well, you know, you got to have all these different scenarios that come into play there. Let them do their thing.
Yeah.
But I agree with rewarding points because there were so many years where it was we're going to hang around until 50 to go and then we're going to turn it on and go to the front.
Makes racing more at the end. Makes racing more at the end, and the rest of the race you're just like, let's save the car to the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you got stages, you got to have those stage points.
Yeah.
Because if you're a guy who finishes outside of the stage, outside of the top 10 all season, the guys that finish, if the same guys are so, finish up in the top 10 relatively often, they're going to beat you.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
they're going to
really
beat you because they're going to get so many more points. I don't think that's wrong. I think that's probably an unpopular opinion.
It does.
I think
it does put more racing through the
Jackson
whole
hates
race.
stages. He hates everything about them. He wants them to go away completely.
If NASCAR was like, hey, we want to take away completely, and then a petition was to give to the people, I would definitely sign up.
If they said we're going to just get rid of them, I wouldn't be upset about it.
Perspective to be in the track. I get it. I feel like it is more of a ticket sales thing because you're watching more racing and more. It's better racing.
It's better racing. It's the good thing about stages. If you're at the track, you can go take a leak. You can go get a hot dog. You can get a hamburger. It's a nice little point where you can get it. So they're going to sell more food and stuff at the racetrack. And then the big thing, but the main thing is we've talked about it before is commercials for TV. That's the main reason why stages became a thing. It gives them two guaranteed.
Instead of just putting a little thing to the side in the race,
it gives them two guaranteed times to pull in a full screen commercial on.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason that stages are a thing.
That makes sense.
It's money for the TV. And they pay the bills.
They do.
The TV pays the bills, man. Yeah. They put a bunch of money to be that, and they've got to sell sponsorship and all that stuff. So you got to. It's take it or leave. It's kind of give and take, I think. And that's one of those things that I can definitely give on. And I've always given on it. I didn't really care when they first said it. It was never like something I was upset about. Just let it be. Fine.
I like it. I'm fine with stages. I think we take out the playoffs. I don't think any motorsports have playoffs.
I agree. I agree with that.
Because we're like me, motocross guy. We started doing the playoffs this year.
Oh, really?
And it's awful. But
how are they doing it?
Okay, so they run indoor series, right? Like it's called Supercross. Then you run motocross, which is outdoors. Well, normally they run Supercross to give you a champion. You've got like a 2-month period. Then you go outdoors. Now we're doing it. We just finished. This was the first week of motocross. We finished Supercross. You get a Supercross champion still, but the next weekend you go straight to outdoors. Then you're going to run outdoors and you're going to get a champion there. Then you've also got a playoff section to make you the playoff champion.
This sounds very confusing.
It's awful, but at the same time, like I feel like just because like basketball, football, you got a playoffs and it's sports, everybody's adding playoffs, and I don't see that. I don't like that.
I don't love it either. But that's just me. What do I know? I was trying to get these guys to give us their picks. I guess I should have sent this text earlier.
Well, it's when
Jackson said he picked Jeff Gordon, so I'm going to take that and say that he definitely is going to lose, and that's fine. So cool. I'm all right with that. So last week, I actually ended up winning, so that brings us up to Jackson with 6 wins.
Don't leave your wife out of this.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Yeah, I will get in trouble.
You're welcome,
Technically, Emily won with Ryan Blaney. She picked the race winner. Good on her.
She did.
Just because she thinks she's handsome.
Well, my girlfriend picks Bubba Wallace. Listen to this. This was crazy to me with all the controversy. I
saw it.
That Cheyenne looked at the car.
Dad's over here using smoke signals to tell me something.
She's like, she was like, I like the McDonald's car, which was Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
And then 30 minutes later, she was like, I like the 5 car, and I was like,
yeah, pick one.
And then she was like, I'm going to pick Bubba Wallace and each weekend. Like, well, we went into your house. She was like, I like Bubba Wallace. I went, I wouldn't say that.
He likes the McDonald's. She likes the McDonald's.
I was like, you might well just say you like McDonald's. I was like, don't say that out loud. And then she was like, and Emily was like, Ryan Blaney's pretty.
Yeah.
And then finally, I got home the next day and Cheyenne was looking it up and she was like, Ryan Blaney is pretty. And I was like, so that's your favorite car now? And she was like, yeah.
Now imagine being Emily and thinking Ryan Blaney was pretty and then ending up with me.
You look like Ryan Blaney.
Do I?
No.
You liar. Anyway, so Emily technically wins picks with Ryan Blaney, and then I think technically you finished second.
No, you
had Harvick, right?
I thought Jackson won.
No, I won.
You won? What'd you have?
I picked Keselowski.
Where's he at?
He finished. Hold on, I gotta pull this up now.
Dude?
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh yeah.
I've got it on the story here for highlights, real quick. Okay. Jackson wins. All right. So Wynn picked. Let's just go straight to the winner.
You missed it.
Oh no.
He done goofed.
I don't think I saved that one. Dang it! You picked Kevin.
Yeah.
Crap. Now I feel like.
Okay, hold on. I got the NASCAR app.
Okay, do you?
Yeah.
I was gonna finish
Let's
the order.
see. Oh, but it's gonna tell me. Oh, sweet. I ain't got no service in here.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Da.
You don't have the NASCAR app?
I probably do.
Look at this. Look, I can put it on my home screen, the widget. It tells me where we're going to race and everything.
Oh,
and during if they're racing, I'm not watching, it gives me feeds.
Oh.
That's so cool.
But it's really nice.
Technology.
I need to do that.
Technology is so cool.
That's a lie.
But it's...
I'm going to have to cut this whole part out because we're so...
It's okay.
It's terrible.
You're welcome, Emily, for making sure I let Jay know you won.
She's not listening, so there's no reason for you to say that.
Sorry, Emily. Never mind.
Lineup. Qualifying. Where's our stage 3? Race. Alright, Ryan Blaney wins. Let's see, let's quickly run through. Yep. Kevin Harvick was 11th.
Nice.
And then I picked Brad, who finished 19th. Jackson picked Joey, who finished... Man, we're so good at this.
So good?
Where did Joey...
Where's Joey so good at this?
Joey finished 21st, so I beat him by 2 positions, and then Hamlin got head-on into the wall. You won. Yeah. You won, but we haven't counted you into the score up to this point. Wow. So I think Toby, I'll say this to keep people at the end. I think Toby's probably going to start joining, at least for most of them.
Yeah.
Unless he decides that he doesn't want to come.
That's what
other two.
I want to know how many podcasts I got to be a part of to be on the Shift Points team, man.
I told you that your podcast has done the best of all of them, so you're welcome anytime.
Let's go.
So that puts you up. All right.
Dang it. Am I going on paper? I'm going on paper.
Now I don't even get to put my name up to 3. All right. So Jackson has 6.
I joined midway, and if I still beat you guys,
Wynn has 3. I have 2. And
hey, but
Toby
good thing
has
if they didn't reply, we get to pick our picks first.
Oh yeah, we definitely do.
Because we are on the interweb.
Yes, exactly. We're definitely going to do that. So we got 1. So Toby's up to 1. All right, we're in St. Louis this weekend. We've raced there 1 time. You won, so you get to pick last. Technically, Wynn would technically get to pick first. Then Jackson. They're not here.
So you.
Jackson actually picked Jeff Gordon.
So he lost.
Jeff Gordon. I don't think he's going to qualify.
Does that mean Byron? Does that mean Byron?
No, definitely not.
He's just talking.
Don't cry. Crazy. I know. I'm very emotional about you joining
Jeff Gordon.
podcast. Then me, and then you.
Let's go.
All right, so I'm gonna pick.
I want your pick and why.
Yeah, I always say why. I'm gonna go with Hamlin, your boy, because I think he's gonna come back strong after getting wrecked this weekend.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be driving mad.
He's either gonna get up there and wreck the car driving. What you think?
I think they'll just be up there.
I think he's one of the guys who gets mad and wrecks the car driving.
I think
there's a lot of people like that.
I think he does well. I think he comes back well. I think when something happens like that, like big thing happens like that, he's the kind of guy that goes and wins next week.
I think he's kind of not like we said, just like straight villain, but like when somebody's bad, he's like, oh, well, let me show you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm gonna go off a walk pick. I'm gonna go Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs.
I'm gonna go Ty Gibbs.
A sneaky good season for this
sneaky
kid.
good. That's
Don't like him.
I've been watching. I've been looking at. I did look at the past like 3 or 4 races at position wise and just like. Times.
He's like 14th in points.
That's
I think he's not 14th.
He's in playoffs.
I think he's 17th. I think he's the one on the line.
He's the one on the line?
I think. I had to verify.
I looked at him earlier, but I can't remember who it was.
So like he's got a sneaky good season for him. All right, I'm good with that. I picked that. That's I would call that the long shot win, but he's been good.
Is he typing?
St. Louis, Wynn's typing.
He doesn't understand we need this. Come on, Wynn.
Come on, Wynn.
Come on, Wynn.
See, this is what happens when you have guys
This is what happens when you have guys who work hard. They don't
You
show.
saying I don't work hard?
Yeah.
I work so hard.
I work so hard on this.
All the time. Making videos.
Every day.
Making videos, doing this. All right, Wynn's typing. I see a little thought bubble.
How many videos do you think you make a week?
How many videos do I make a week?
Yeah.
I put out one a week.
One a week?
And plus the podcast.
Plus the
so
podcast.
2 a week.
So
And then, I mean, it's not so bad, but there's still a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, I got to do it in the evenings usually.
Yeah.
Because of regular work. So I got to come in here in the evenings and work, film, and then I have to go home and edit, and then get everything uploaded, then do all the social media
You do all
stuff.
that?
Huh?
You do all that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do all of it, and then I have to video Dad, or I have to actually do the work too.
Yeah.
You know, between the two of us. So like, yeah, there's a lot to it, but it's a ton of fun. Though. Oh, I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just wish that was like my main thing that I could do, so I didn't.
Same,
so I could have
same.
more. I'd have more time to do it.
Cheyenne said something. She was like, "You need to become a podcaster. You need to become a NASCAR podcaster here." She was like, "So you got to do something cool." And I was like, "That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
We can go to races.
See,
and
that's
do
what I thought
fun
the other
stuff
day. I
like
said
that.
what would be so cool is if it like got so big, and then we were just bouncing from track to track.
That'd be
just, like,
awesome.
Recording it, then come back and do a pod about the track
Yeah.
where we were doing little clips about it.
I'm
I'd
full on
love
with
to do
that. Tyler Reddick. Wynn has picked Reddick. Man, we have picked the Toyotas this
The
week.
Toyota teams right
Except
now.
for Jeff Gordon.
Who is not any team.
Yeah.
Really well. But
24 hours of Le Mans this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, that's interesting. Sorry, that was really random. But I think Jackson's going to finish last in it this week. So
With Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, definitely.
Did I go last?
Your daddy's racing at Tri-County this
Both
weekend.
cars.
Both cars. I will be there.
He said, when I was talking to him today,
Unless
I was like,
unless something happens between now and then, my plan is to at least be there for the races.
do it or hire a spotter because it won't be me.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm planning to be there, so you guys come down. They're running limited cars and late models at Tri-County. I haven't looked at the rest of the schedule, so come check that out. I think Southeast Super Trucks, their next race is June 10th.
Right. You know.
Lonesome Pine.
That sounds right.
Lonesome
I heard it the other day,
Yeah.
and I think that sounds right.
Lonesome Pine, June 10th. I definitely won't be at that one because we leave 2 days later to go on Power Tour.
Oh,
And
really?
so we'll be finishing up all this. So
That's
there's
cool.
no way I'll be
That's
at that
not
one.
bad.
But
His birthday will be Saturday too.
Oh, really?
Dad's birthday Saturday,
Oh,
so he's racing on his
June
birthday.
10th?
He said that's why he's taking both cars.
Oh, this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend's his
Oh,
birthday.
I didn't know it was his birthday.
Yeah, this was his Saturday will be his birthday. That's why he
Alright,
said he wants to
that's
take
good.
2 cars. I think we're
Yeah.
leaving tomorrow. I'm gonna go practice. I'm gonna go with him.
What if he wins on his birthday?
Dude, he said
if he wins on his birthday, he has to come on this podcast on Monday.
He wants to so bad.
Does
okay,
he?
so that's what I was about to say. Right before I left, okay, so I went to his tire shop or whatever after, and I was coming out, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna go do the podcast."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Is it fun?"
Is
And
it
I was
fun?
like, "Yeah." I was like, "We're just talking about racing," and I was like, "Jake wants you on it."
I
He
do.
was like, he went, "He never asked me,"
I haven't, but we were kind of getting everything figured out.
Yeah, and I was like, "Trust me." I
Just
said,
like,
"You
bunch of
look at
idiots.
Jake and just be like, hey, I want to go on that podcast next week." I said, "You think he's gonna be like, no?"
I
was like,
honestly think no matter what, we should have him on Monday
It would
either
be
way because he
awesome.
would. Yeah,
It
yeah.
would be awesome.
I just want the races to go well.
He
so
said,
that
he
can
said,
be
"Let me
well
win one. Find me a driver to get home." And I was like, "Nice, nice."
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. I hope. Good Lord, we're an hour and 17 minutes.
Are we?
We went longer with just the two of us than we normally do with all 3 or 4 of us. Clearly, me and Toby don't care to talk about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can listen to this podcast. If you found it, you've already listened to it, though. But you can listen to it anywhere on Spotify, anywhere that you can get podcasts, and on YouTube as well.
I did not know that.
You know it's on Spotify?
I did not know.
Anywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
I got Apple Music and didn't know you were even on there.
All of
Look
it.
at there, even
Go
man on the show.
leave us a review. Leave a review. That
Absolutely.
helps. That's a good thing. Follow us on that. And you are going to be hearing us again really quickly because this is probably not going to go out till tomorrow, which is Friday.
And then
we're back on Monday.
Back on Monday.
So it's going to be quick shots of podcasts here. Let's see if St. Louis plays out as good as it did last year because it was a pretty good race last year. And no matter what, we're going to talk about Tri-County next week, which is what I'm excited about.
Yeah,
it's really, I'm excited about that. I like talking about the short track stuff more than even the Cup stuff.
I get that, even though you definitely know that other people.
Well, we're involved in it.
Yeah, we're there.
Like we're there.
Yeah.
You know, we have some. You know, at least you
definitely
involved
inside
we're a part
knowledge.
of it.
Yeah.
You know, so
inside knowledge from the pits and everything.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
exactly.
Cool.
So, all right, guys. See you soon. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.